What's up, people? This is Rob Barrington for our weekend tournament results show. But before I get into this past week's results, let's take a look at last week's final result. This was the last tournament of January, and it determined our pro champion for the month. Now, Radu Nestor won the event last week with 73.21%, but Sam Amer came in a strong fourth, and that kind of locked in the win for him for the month of January. So congratulations to Sam Amer. He was the top pro of January. He's a very popular New York pro, and Radu Nestor was number 2 with that really strong showing, and John Hurd number 3. You'll see every week you'll have a bunch of pros in the mix. You have some near the top and some, if you scroll down, near the middle or the bottom, and that is because they are all trying really hard to win. So sometimes you will see them kind of swing for the fences and maybe get a poor score because they're trying to actually get one of those higher scores of the week to qualify. You guys really put a lot of pressure on them. The more people we have in this tournament, the harder it is to actually garner those big results. But again, you'll see the pros up near the top of that list. Once again, I had a 6th place, which is pretty good. I had my probably best month in the tournament so far. I think that was partially due to maybe slowing down a little bit and paying more attention to this. And also, I don't really talk about the hands while I'm playing them during this. I really want to do well. So talking is kind of distracting, or is at least not going to produce the best results. So I found that, kind of doing it on my own and then having the results afterward has been a little bit more helpful as well. But again, I have weeks where I do much more poorly than I show here. Had a couple of good runs, and we'll take a look at what happened this past week right now. Let's jump in, and here are my provisional results. You can see them right over my right shoulder here. I did not have the best week, even though 62.2 is fine. I'm not upset when I'm above 60, especially in a field like this. But pretty much from the first board, I had issues. This was a hand where I should make an over trick on this auction in this deal, and I'm sure a lot of you did actually played it better than I did, and it's because I just made a silly mistake early. And sometimes, especially early in a tournament, you need to watch out for that lack of focus at the beginning. At least for me, I find that I'm predisposed to making mistakes early, and then of course compounding them later through just either trying to catch up or just playing just a little bit too quickly. And that's usually my biggest leak. It's helpful to recognize where your leaks are in your game and try to focus on avoiding those sorts of mistakes in the future. But as much as you do, it can still bite you. And let me show you what I mean here. The auction should be the same at every table. North has, to be honest, North probably should open 1 spade. This hand is just almost too good to be opening 2 spades, but the robot chose to open 2 spades in first seat. And here with our hand, you have to recognize we don't have a game. Right? Partner has 5 to 10 points, right? So add their maximum to your values. You do not possibly have a game. You have a nice spade holding that might be useful for partner, but you don't have any quick winners other than the ace of clubs. If you're going to get to game lightly, and here with 11, you're probably never going to consider it, but the types of hands you want to look for when partner preempts or shows some sort of long suit are hands that have a lot of quick tricks, like aces, ace-king combinations, things like that are going to kind of handle some of partner's losers, and also so you don't have to work too hard to create tricks on one side of the table. Here, though, just a normal pass. We don't want to raise. We don't even need to preempt here. Our hand is good. And the other thing you need to know, folks, is that you have the best hand at the table always in these tournaments, okay? So knowing that, it's very unlikely that the opponents are going to be competing in spots like this. You might think of, hey, I need to raise to 3 spades to kind of keep the opponents out of this. Well, number one, you don't need to do that here. You only have 2 spades. But also, are you terribly upset if the opponents clip off like 3 hearts here? Or they double and they find some sort of minor suit? Part score, you're probably going to go plus in a lot of these spots because you're going to have most of the points of the table, but also partner has to be near the top of their range. When you have 11, right, we know the opponents can't have more than that in either of those hands, so we know partner has something reasonable over there. So sitting back and taking your plus score playing 2 spades is just fine. And let me show you where I went wrong right away. This is a disaster. It goes king of hearts as an opening lead, which is weird, by the way, from king and 1. It might make sense, and honestly, in this spot, if you're going to make a lead like this, you are definitely going to do it when right-hand opponent has shown some sort of weakness. So from this hand's perspective, this King of Hearts lead, while it's aggressive, isn't necessarily going to be terrible in these spots that often, because we know the North player has shown, not very many values outside of spades, we presume. So here, weird choice of leads, not usually historically a great lead, but in this spot, you can understand this happening when they know righty has something weak. Here's where I went wrong. They switched to a clubbit trick too. And at this point, I know I need to get to dummy to play trump, right? That's the one thing we should recognize right away is we want to get to the dummy to play a spade towards our ace jack, right? And we're probably just going to play the queen towards our ace jack here because we have a doubleton and dummy. It's going to be burned anyway. All right, so in this spot, the one thing you had to remember is set up a pitch while you're here. Right, it's very unlikely that the opponents are going to be roughing a third club, and if they are, this becomes kind of a loser on a loser type play sometimes as well. But the key thing to understand is unblock the club before you lead towards dummy, right? That's the issue I had. I just see this right away, and I'm not even thinking about it. Early in the tournament, I kind of woke up, had some coffee, and started playing this, and I'm just bamboozled right away because I play a diamond first. And watch what happens. I get that entry to dummy. Right? Beautiful. I get that entry to dummy, but what haven't I done yet? I haven't unblocked clubs. So when I get to that dummy, I'm not going to be able to take advantage of that good ace of clubs over there to pitch away a losing diamond potentially. So watch what happens. It goes ace of diamonds. And now here's where I sat there. I wish I could have recorded when I played this, but I'm just sitting there going, oh no, how terrible is this? Because now I have to make a choice in diamonds, right? If I had played the king of clubs originally, this is an easy play. I hop king of diamonds, cash ace of clubs, pitching a diamond, and now I can lead towards my king of hearts or something. So, excuse me. I can lead anything. I'm only going to lose one heart here. I'm thinking about a different hand in the future, but in this spot right here, it's just a bad play by me. So now I'm kind of forced to just take a diamond finesse here, and I choose to do that, and it loses. And now I'm just holding my breath, hoping they don't realize a rough at any point. After this moment, though, it goes queen of hearts, they rough high, but luckily that looks like it was going to promote to a natural trump trick most of the time if they defended normally. Then here goes king of diamonds, and now the hand is pretty much over. But I've lost 5 tricks, and if we go back to the original line of play here, I'll show you where the robot will tell us where we went wrong, and it was right here. Watch what I could do at this point, right? What produces one over trick? Well, it's the king of clubs, just like I thought. I need to get rid of this before I lead towards dummy, because now if I successfully enter that dummy, I have a pitch that I can always make from that north hand. So starting off pretty poorly. 65.3, surprised it's this good. I think some people probably get into a little bit of trouble by bidding here and maybe going down, but also you could see some of you might have forgotten to unblock that club or had some sort of other issues on this particular hand. So on this spot, not the best result for me to start, and I didn't follow it up with too good of a result either. Board number 2, let's take a look at that. Here, the auction went a heart by us, partner bid a spade, and this is an interesting choice of rebids. I chose to bid 3 hearts. I think with this heart suit and these values, I just don't want to bid clubs and have it potentially go pass when I have ace jack 10 6th of a suit. 2-no trump was never in the mix for me, and my hand is way too unbalanced. I have 10 cards and 2 suits. And 3 clubs, folks, would be a jump shift, and my hand isn't good enough for that. In these spots, when you jump shift, if I were to take this away and bid 3 clubs, that is opener's game forcing bid. So this is like, close to, hey, I was almost going to open this thing 2 clubs, right? It's a good 19 or more. We're not quite there, right? So here, just 3 hearts is going to show this hand quite well. And now partner bids 3-no trump, and that's where we sit. I'm looking at this hand. On this auction, the 10 of diamonds is the opening lead. And once we win the ace, from my perspective, I'm looking at this and I'm counting 9 tricks, right? And I'm being a little bit generous. We were forced to win the ace of diamonds, obviously. So here, ace of hearts is 1 trick. 5 spades, if we're getting them, likely we are. That's 6. 2 clubs is 8. And the diamond we already took is 9. And at this point, guys, I'm in trouble if I don't take 9 tricks, right? I don't know what's going on outside of these suits, but if I let the opponents in any of these suits, I am definitely going to lose a bunch of diamond tricks, I presume. So in this spot, I'm not sure why this result was 43.6. My guess would be that maybe some people decided to do something different with my hand after opening one heart. It's possible they didn't bid 3 hearts. Maybe they did make a weird off-shaped 2-no trump bid and avoided a diamond lead. That's the key to this hand. If you don't get a diamond lead, now not only do you take all 5 spades, you may be able to either set up hearts, or more likely you just get to set up your clubs, or at least one extra club. On this line of play here, folks, when they lead a diamond, they just don't give you the time to actually try to mine for those extra winners. And in fact, they take away, not that you had any entry anyway, but you have to kind of play spades this way and overtake the 10 with the ace to get over to that dummy, right? Because you're lacking entries. If we don't do this, right, we have no way to get over to that dummy. And let's take a look. If it goes 10 low, let's see what double dummy says, right? So here, if we play low, we're going to go down 2. Right? Because we have no way to get over there. We'll have to play ace of clubs, king of clubs, and hope the queen is falling. And as you can see, no such luck on today's deal, right? So here, we're just kind of stuck if we don't overtake. So make sure before you ever start this, guys, count your winners completely, right? Get your number that you're starting with and ask yourself, what am I going to need to be successful? If you started counting and you were at least, somewhat optimistic about spades, which you don't have to be that optimistic here. You just need either the singleton 9, right, or the spades to break no worse than 4-2 for you to roll this home. And even if you don't get all of the tricks, maybe the queen of clubs falls short and you get to take that jack of clubs and maybe the 9 as well. Here, as you can see, you should just take 9 tricks on this auction if you were here. I would guess this is more towards the average side. 43.6 looks like maybe there were a couple of outliers that made more tricks, or maybe we're in a different contract. Looks like 4 spades might make more, actually. If we take a look, we might be able to set up hearts in the dummy and really take a bunch of tricks in spades. So if we ended up in spades, maybe that's how people got a little bit higher than 600. I'll be interested to see what happens on board 2 as far as the result stream is concerned. But I would guess most people were around this spot, and maybe some of you going down by not counting your winners right away, folks. Board number 3 is just a couple of questions with this particular board. Number 1 is, how many spades do you bid after you open a diamond and partner responds a spade? The moral to this story is, whether you choose to bid 3 spades or 4 spades, the North player is going to help you out if you only bid 3 spades, right? I think 4 spades is the best bid you can make here. You have 16 high card points in your hand, and you have a singleton and a very nice 5-card suit. So these are all upgradable reasons here. The heart singleton is certainly very worthwhile, especially if partner has a few values in this particular hand. But as you can see here, I think 4 spades is your best bid. It's still kind of close. And if you bid 3 spades, you might get just a different lead. It's very, as soon as you bid 3 spades, partner's going to kick it into game no matter what. And that maybe has, the East player choosing a different lead. I would doubt it, though. The East player just leads their shortness on this hand. Take a look. They lead their singleton diamond. And after we see the 6 of diamonds, we should recognize that that diamond is either low from like honor 3rd, like from jack 3rd or queen 3rd, but it's weird that they would do that in a suit that we opened and then we are playing in a different suit. So this is almost always going to be a singleton, right? We know there are no cards below the 7, right? Because we see we have the 5 and the 4 in our hand, and then partner has the 3 and the 2 in theirs, right? So the 6 is the lowest one we can see. So the 7 cannot be the start of a high-low, so very likely a singleton. So that means, unless we're really desperate to take care of some business ourselves, we don't really want to delay the drawing of trump in these spots. So right away, we get to the drawing of trump. And after we draw 3 rounds, we have to recognize where we can get rid of losers, right? The one thing we have to understand is we definitely have a diamond loser, right? We can't get rid of it. We have too many diamonds, obviously, in the South player's hand, and we have 2 in that hand that we just can't ditch on anything. However, we do have a heart loser over here, and we do have a way to possibly get rid of that heart loser. Now, the problem is we only have 1 trump, right? So the issue with that is, okay, if we only have 1 trump, how do we actually take advantage of getting rid of this heart here? Well, maybe we get them to panic and cash their ace at some point. The problem is, if we do end up pitching this, you know, they're going to have a pretty good view of this because this was the dummy on this hand. But take a look. You should just notice that clubs is a very safe suit to be playing here, as long as you at some point decide to, if you can, lead a heart from this player's hand. So here we're going to play a club to the queen, and now we get to pitch away that heart. It's really kind of a spot where we're not gaining too much unless the diamond suit sets up, right? And then we can really do some business on this hand. But as we see, as expected, this was a short diamond lead, so diamonds are not breaking. Here, if they were, we would now ruff a diamond back to north, enter the dummy with a heart ruff, and then just claim, right? But here they did a good job of just holding onto their diamonds. And now we just have a heart loser. But take a look. They solve this for us, right? They play the ace of hearts, and I misclick. You guys see this? So this was the further down the rabbit hole disaster for today. So I have the perfect opportunity, right? I get them to make this weird mistake where they cash the ace of hearts because they thought maybe a diamond was bad. In fact, it was, right? If they lead a diamond, they set up the suit themselves. So they're kind of end played in this spot. And take a look. They play this ace of hearts, and what do? I just don't even realize my hand is on the mouse, and I click my diamond, and now instead of making 5, I make 4. But it ended up being a super cool end play here, because take a look, guys. Once they get in with this diamond, what do? If they leave the 10 of diamonds, I get to ruff, and now dummy's good, right? I ruff with the 8 of spades, and now the 5 of diamonds is good, and I get to get over here with that spade. Their best play might have been the jack of hearts, which I get to counter that with, hey, let's hop that king, and we'll pitch a diamond, and now we just have a cross ruff. So I actually back into this nice, beautiful end play, and then I misclick in the dummy at trick 11, I guess, and it's just a disaster. So once again, the bad mouse play comes back and bites me. It hasn't happened in a while, so I feel like I've had a good run of not misclicking. This was just something, again, not paying attention, having my hand in the wrong spot, and then just, you know, seeing something really good that, hey, I get to claim here, and then oops. Not so much, Rob. So 50.6 obviously would have been much, much better if I was making 5. And that was the one thing that derailed my efforts initially here. And now let's take a look at the next board to see how I try to make up. So look at this hand. I know I'm on tilt now. Like, so, and if you're unfamiliar with this phrase, guys, when you're upset, right, you're playing a game of some kind, you're running on tilt when you're just, you know, you're fuming under your head a little bit, and you're just so distraught over the mistake you just made that you might try to make up a little bit. And here I actually get a little bit lucky with the way I bid this. I opened a diamond instead. And what I'm trying to do is, if I get to play no trump, I want to confuse the opponents into not leading a suit that I'm very threatened in, right? I'm tricking them in a small way, and the problem is I'm also tricking my partner in a relatively small way, but could be devastating, especially when they have a fit like this. Luckily, when they bid the inverted minor suit raise here, 2 diamonds, and I bid 2 no, they pass, right? The worst case for me, I'm thinking, is, okay, if I bid 2 no and they bid 3 diamonds, I'd probably just back myself into another terrible score. But luckily, I get to play 2 no trump. And they start off inexplicably with a diamond lead, which I found very odd, right? They play a diamond to the ace, and now it's like, okay, I can take care of this. Now watch what happens. They actually figure out to lead a club because I didn't open clubs. Like, maybe I get a better defense if they don't do this. Maybe they also just lead a diamond naturally, or even a heart might be better here. But take a look at what happens. I'm going to count my winners always at this point to decide, number 1, if I should duck, and number 2, how often or how many times I can choose to make this hold up play. And here's how I'm going to go about it. I'm going to count 4 diamond tricks, right? Because I can play the jack and I'll have an entry to that hand in the spade suit for sure. I have a heart for the ace and then 2 spades, right? So I have 4 diamonds. I have a heart for 5 and 2 spades for 7. And I'm going to take this ace of clubs for 8 at some point, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, at this point, if I rip off all my winners, and maybe I take a spade finesse for 9, right? So that's the best I'm going to do. Well, how many losses have I taken so far? How many losers do I have? Well, only 1 from the opening lead, which means I can afford to take 3 or even 4 more losers and still have the amount of tricks that I'm starting with, right? So here, that I'm just trying to tell you that when you know you can lose that many tricks, you can certainly lose them now. And this is just in an effort to disrupt their communication. So now they lead another one. Hey, I can still take 10 tricks from this point with only 3 losers. So, okay, I can afford to do this one more time. And now they clear out the club suit, and I've effectively just disrupted their communication completely. So if someone gets in and they have that extra club, they'll take it at some point. But if not, they will not be able to take that trick. And now we have extras. All right. So here I need to unblock diamonds like I forgot to do on the first board here. You can only fool me once usually during a tournament. So there's a diamond play right there. Clearing that suit out. Very happy we're doing that, right? Because this suit is not breaking evenly this time. We needed to have this happen. And now we just lead a spade to our entry, which is the ace. And we're going to cash diamonds, and we're going to pitch the only suit we're not going to take extra winners in, which is hearts, right? We might, for all we know, take a bunch of extra spade tricks if they're breaking and the queen of spades is on side. But here we can see, all right, we're going to play this. We're going to play another diamond. Boom, boom, boom. We still have a heart stopper for sure. And now the question is, when we lead a spade and they play low, do we have the ability to take a finesse? Are we worried about this? And let's think about it. What is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is we take a finesse and then it loses and then they cash the club. Right? So what does that give us? It still gives us making 2. We're still in that ballpark. So here we can definitely afford to do this because take a look, guys. If we just take our winners, the king of spades and the ace, that's 8 tricks as well. So we're just giving ourselves a 50-50 shot at an extra trick and maybe more extra tricks if it's breaking evenly. As we can see, though, good news, bad news. The finesse wins, but the suit isn't breaking. So now we just take the king of spades and the ace of hearts. And here, this is one of those rare times where the auction kind of probably helped me get this score because I probably had a less than normal auction. I opened up a lot of variance for my side, but mainly because I knew I biffed 2 boards, right? I knew number 1 was going to be bad, and I knew number 3 was going to be terrible. Was a little surprised that this one was bad, but there's nothing I can really do about that one. I don't believe I've made a mistake on number 2 that I've really seen so far. I just took my 9 tricks and ran. But number 3, I know I'm behind. So here I feel like I scraped a little bit more together. And let's take a look at number 5. An unsuccessful 3-note trump, but one you can see ended up being pretty well scored for only down 1 in 3-note trump. So this one, pretty normal to open a diamond. Some of you might have opened a no trump. And I need to tell you that this hand is too strong to open 1 no trump. If you guys have been watching the Wednesday morning tournament with Gavin and I, this is a hand where we always will tell you never to open 1 no trump because we have 17. And we have a very nice 5-card suit on the side. So I'm not saying this is not a no trump hand. This just is too strong to open 1 no trump. Right? So this is a hand where we want to treat as an 18-19 balanced hand. And how do we do that, folks? We open a minor or whatever suit we're going to open. Sometimes this will be a major as well. And we plan to rebid 2-note trump or show those values whichever way we get a chance to on the way back. Okay? And that's what we get to do on this hand. We open a diamond. It goes double on our left. And look at that hand on our left. Beautiful hand. Perfect double. One of the few times you're going to double with a 5-card major is just because you have 4, 5, 0, 4, and you're void in our suit, right? So here, luckily, we get to park them out of the auction on the way back. Partner makes a pretty good 2-diamond bid, I think. And remember, because of the double, guys, this is not the inverted minor suit raise, right? This is no longer the case for us. This is just, hey, partner, I have probably like 6 to 9, and that's exactly what the robot has it as, and 4 or more diamonds. Whoa, whoa, we don't want to be there. Hang on a second, folks. Let's get that hand back up there. There we go, guys. All right, so good raise by partner, and they allow us to kind of get in here with our normal 2-note trump bid. Now remember, when this is a normal raise, 6 to 9, 2-note trump has to be those extra values, right? It has to be that 18, 19, because think about it, with our balanced or bad hands, what are we going to do? We're just going to pass 2 diamonds, right? We're not going to want to get in too much trouble. And to be honest, now West would probably reopen with another double, and then they would find some sort of spade fit their way. But 2-note trump, if you're ever worried about it, mouse over the bid before you make it, and there you go, guys. There's that 18 to 19, or as they're considering it, 18 to 20. And partner kicks it into game. A little bit light, I have to say. That's a flat 6 count. I might be tempted to pass, but I think their intermediate cards are getting them over the edge, and maybe, I mean, they clearly didn't see me play the first couple of hands because I booted a couple of hands already. So maybe they're giving me a chance to be successful, and I disappointed them once again, unfortunately. There's really nothing we can do on this hand. As soon as the dummy comes down, you know you're kind of in trouble, right? You have 5 diamonds. You have 1 spade for 6, 1 heart for 7. You need 2 more tricks. and they're going to need to be the queen of hearts and the king of clubs. Right? So it's pretty brutal. The jack of hearts gets led, and here I decided to forego the queen of heart play initially. And I probably, you could have played this in a bunch of different ways, and maybe I could have been more successful if I just ran diamonds first. But I chose to kind of break one of the suits first to kind of maybe put some confusion in their head. So I led a club towards the king, and it failed miserably, right? So here they win the ace. But luckily now they cash the king of hearts, and they set up that queen. But here we can't win, guys. Take a look. Is there any way we're going to take 9 tricks from this particular point? The answer is no, and not unless the opponents are in a very giving mood, folks, right? So in this spot, we only have 4 more diamonds, 1 spade, and 1 heart, right? So that's 4 diamonds, 5, 6. We only have 2 winners already. Where are extra tricks going to come from? Nowhere, unfortunately. But all we can do is just run some winners after they take a club or 2. Here they block the club suit, which is pretty awesome. So maybe we have a chance, but here's my second misclick of the day. Not that this was going to make any difference, folks. It certainly wasn't. But here I meant to play the ace, and there goes the 4. So as you can see, I'm going from bad to worse in this tournament. Luckily for me, this really wasn't going to matter. I knew kind of this one wasn't going to be a disaster, because what am I supposed to do at this point? The robots aren't getting the rest of this wrong, okay? So here, down 1, 68.7. Interesting to see if you open 1 no trump. I don't know. Maybe the opponents play this, because take a look. The opponents might just actually show a 2-suited hand with the majors or something, and they get to play spades on this one. So it's possible that if you open a no trump, you might go minus in a different way, maybe even more severely. Maybe that's why this is 68.7. My opinion, and not just my opinion, just fact, guys. This is too strong for 1 no trump. When you have 17 and a good 5-card suit, treat it like 18, 19. Just like you see when you have a good 14, right? 14 with a good 5-card suit, we're going to upgrade that to 1 no trump pretty frequently, right? In fact, for my money, always, right? 5-card suits and 14, that's a 1 no trump opening bid. 5-card suits and 17, that's 18, 19. You're upgrading 1 point for that at least. So you're opening your suit, whatever that might be, with the full intention of rebidding 2 no trump. All right, let's take a look at number 6. A little surprised that this one was so bad, but I guess maybe no trump. No trump isn't really going to do too well on this one either. I was very happy I got to play clubs on this auction. Let me show you what it was. We opened a club. It went a heart by partner, and I chose to bid 1 no trump for lack of any better bid. I could bid 2 clubs. The key thing we have to understand is we can never, ever bid 2 diamonds, folks. 2 diamonds would be a reverse, even though it would very adequately describe our shape. We don't have enough values for this. This is like a good 17 or more at a minimum. So we're kind of choosing between bad bids when we choose to open this a club. I'm also not a fan of opening a diamond and rebidding clubs. One thing I would have done, though, if my partner bid spades, I would just raise spades in this spot, okay? And these are the times that are perfect to be raising with a 3-card suit. Here, when partner bids a heart, I'm not terribly upset to play no trump when my partner has 4+ hearts. So I'm not devastated when they leave me there. But now partner bids 2 clubs, and here's where, and 2 clubs is a bailout, by the way. This says, hey, I'm a little worried about no trump also, and you can see why they're worried. They have a singleton spade over there. So they're bailing out, and at that point, I decide to just give it a raise. I bid 3 clubs, and then I chicken out after partner raises to 4. I mean, robot's not being too helpful with the 4-level bid. I guess they're doing what they think is right. They're showing the values that they have, but at this point, you know, I don't know. I don't know what they're supposed to do with their hand, and we didn't really give them a ton of direction other than, hey, I have a little bit better of a hand now that you're saying you have some clubs. I might be interested in going higher. As it turns out, 10 tricks is the most we can make on this one. As you can see, we always have a heart, a spade, and we are also going to have to lose a diamond on this hand as long as they don't defend in any sort of weird way. So take a look. It goes queen of diamonds. They get off to their best lead right away. All right, and now they've set up their trick, and here the best we can do is just draw some trump. And then we're going to try to get some spade tricks so we can pitch losers in the dummy. But look at this, right? This is the benefit of a diamond lead. Now when they get in with the ace of spades, boom, they get to take their trick right there. And now they can just sit back and wait for that ace of hearts, and it will come to them for their 3 tricks. But luckily, that's 10 tricks for us, and that's plus 150. Not a very high score on this one, right? 37.6%. I'm guessing we had certainly different auctions, but I'm wondering where they ended up, and if maybe they get an over trick by playing, you know, in clubs and making 5 possibly, or maybe they got to pick off some no trump. On this auction, unfortunately, when I bid 3 clubs, we get the queen of diamonds lead. It's possible maybe if you pass 2 clubs, they let you sit there, which is interesting with a 7-card spade suit over there. But maybe they let you sit there and now they don't need a diamond for some reason, right? So the robots are always going to have weird stuff that happens depending on the type of auction you have. You'll notice that even maybe a spot card you might play that another person wouldn't will lead a different, will lead the robots down a different pathway as well. So be on the lookout for those types of weird scores. But this one, a little surprised, just like number 2, I'm a little surprised at this score, but I'm guessing that, you know, a lot of people were playing clubs, but some people may be making more tricks at lower levels, or possibly getting to play some no trump and avoiding a disaster and getting to take more tricks. You'd have to make 3, which honestly, 5 clubs, 2 spades, maybe if they hop up with the ace, that's 7, the ace of diamonds. I mean, maybe if they help set up hearts, I don't know. All right, so I'm not really sure. I'll have to take a look at that one. Let's take a look at these last 2 boards. Our number 7 was another kind of normal no trump bid in my book. However, I would guess a lot of you opened 1 spade. This is one of those upgrades, right? I have 14 and a 5-card suit. Now, it's not even a good 5-card suit this time, guys, but honestly, anytime I have 14 and a 5-card suit, especially in a best hand robot tournament, I'm just going to open a no trump. I think it's worth 15 to 17. And here, partner still makes an inquiry for a major suit. They bid 2 clubs. We bid 2 spades, and then partner just kicks it into 3 no trump. This is destined to play in 3 no trump no matter what, but let's see what would happen. If we open a spade, partner's going to game for us by bidding 2 clubs. Now we're going to bid 2 no, and they're going to bid 3 no as well. So here we'll end up in the same exact spot. Might get a different lead though. And to be honest, the lead that was made here was a club, which is a pretty good start for us, right? They set up our suit where we're going to take 3 tricks. And now it's time to just count our winners, right? We have 3 heart winners. We have 1 diamond winner for 4, 1 spade winner for 5. And we are going to take at least 3 clubs for 8. So we're just going to need to scrape together 1 other trick. And the things I'm looking at right away for those, clearly diamonds, right? No matter where the king of diamonds is, we're always going to take at least 1 more diamond trick. And also that 10 of hearts is a possibility as well. All right, so here, when they lead a club, they've gotten to the suit that I would have broken myself, right? So here, once they lead clubs, I'm just going to hammer away at clubs. I'm not worried about getting to dummy later on in the hand. I'll unblock the ace king of hearts when I really need to here. And at this point, bingo, I've gotten this. And now they've led a diamond. Always make sure to take your free finesse, folks. If you play low, you have to play the ace and dummies. So here when they play the 10, there's your jack, and that's your winner. And now we know we have 9 tricks. Now comes the unblock because I'm about to enter dummy. So it's going to go ace of hearts, king of hearts. And now you can lead a spade or a diamond. Diamond looked to me to be just a little bit safer here. We kind of know we're not going to take any extra tricks in diamonds because we lack the spot cards necessary. So at this point, we play a diamond to the ace. King of clubs pitching a spade. We cash the queen of hearts. Fingers crossed that the jack falls. It doesn't. And now we just play ace of spades. And we're just running our tricks now, right? Diamond to the queen, yuck. Not that we were expecting anything different there. But here, now they're pitching winners on winners, which is always a good sign. So 3 no trump making 3. I would guess this is maybe one of the more average scores of the day, to be honest, except board 2 is probably close to that as well. But here, if you look at the auction and the play on this, there's really nothing to it, right? As long as the robots don't go anywhere weird on this particular hand, you're going to do okay. I'm interested to see if we do open a spade and it goes 2 clubs, 2 no, 3 no. I'm wondering what West is going to lead instead on this one. Like, will they still make the lead that they did, the 8 of clubs, or would they maybe consider leading a spade here, which would probably be okay for them, but that's really scary considering we open spades to their right. So I would guess a lot of the same on this one. This last board, though, 3 diamonds, was my best board of the day. And this is just being competitive in nature, right? It goes a club on our right. The overcall of 1 diamond is perfectly standard, right? We're not going to do anything different. We're certainly not going to preempt. We have a good hand, right? We have the best hand at the table with 12. and a very nice suit. These are well bid by just bidding and then rebidding your diamonds if necessary. It's such a good suit that you can afford to do that as long as you're not getting too high with that next bid. And now it goes a spade on our left, just 4+ spades in this spot, doesn't have to be 5. Partner raises our diamonds, and now we're just going to kind of be using the law of total tricks. We know we have a 9-card diamond fit, and here it goes 2 spades on our right. We just bid 3 diamonds, and they let us play it there. The play is very, very normal, right? We just see that, okay, we have a spot here where we can guess clubs possibly for extra tricks. We also know we can draw trump. We're going to lose a couple of hearts, maybe more than a couple in these spots. So we'll be a little careful on this one. So here I guessed clubs incorrectly, to be honest. I played a club to the king. The jack of clubs is clearly the better play when you can see all of these, but I decided to be kind of weird here because I figured I was behind. Correctly, I think, if you look at my scores versus some of the top pros. I know number 2 is terrible, or excuse me, number 1 is terrible. I know number 3 is just god awful because I have 5 in the bank and I misclick, right? So here I'm just kind of still a little bit on tilt, and I'm just deciding, okay, I'm gonna make a play that's not necessarily the normal play, and I didn't get punished for it. The robots dropped a little trick here, probably because they couldn't believe I played a club to the king. They cashed their spade, nothing bad here, and now they just play the jack of hearts, and it goes queen king. They clear hearts, and now they leave me with a pitch in that dummy. Here I'm a little worried about a ruff, but watch this. No dice for them. Now I get to draw trump, and make sure you draw trump ending in that dummy. Your 9 of hearts needs to be cashed, and at this point it goes diamond, diamond, and now I get to pitch my absolute losing club on that jack of diamonds. East must have thought I had a singleton king of clubs, right? I bid diamonds twice and I led to the king. I didn't play the jack of clubs. So this would be what's called maybe a Grosvenor. I don't know if it's completely idiotic, but a Grosvenor is when you do something so stupid or so weird that your opponent's never going to think you've done this, right? They probably said, oh, wait, well, if they had the king and 1, they would have played the jack of clubs, clearly. So this guy is just on a different weird level, and I was at this point. Don't worry. And now they just kind of let me slide by with this one giving me an extra trick. Maybe they felt bad for me and they saw my poor misclicks from earlier in the session. But here, you know, I can't be too upset about a 62.2%. However, you know, as always, there are always things to clean up, especially early on. This one's going to kill me here. Just forgetting to unblock in such an obvious situation before I play a diamond is just sloppy. You know, it's just a sloppy play and just not taking my time. And it didn't get much better on board 3 when at the end they give me my nice little pitch and I don't take it, right? So all of these things being equal, you know, all these things being better, at least my score would have improved quite a bit. But as it was, 62.2. The game isn't over yet. It's about 4 o'clock on Saturday as I'm looking at these results from earlier. And you can see lots of people playing already. I'm be interested to see how many tables actually play these boards. A lot more this week than there have been. And that's a great sign, folks. You guys are having fun with this tournament. And we'll see how the rest of the pros did in the results. Now, don't forget, guys, you can have your results up as you're watching this. So when you see this video, your results are on BridgeBase. So open up BridgeBase and just take a peek at your results, and you'll see exactly what everyone did on these boards, who got the top results, who got the poor results. And here are mine right here. Some good, some bad. We'll try to pick up those pieces next week. And best of luck to all of you for the rest of the month. Take care, folks.